Hey travelers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you guys along with me on my Costa Rica trip and giving you some tips if you're interested in traveling to Costa Rica too. Stay tuned. Okay, so first and foremost, if you plan on traveling to Costa Rica, I definitely recommend that you should go ahead and exchange some money into their local currency, which is called colones. The Costa Rican colones is about 570 to the US dollar, but definitely make sure that you do your research because a lot of locals will use a different exchange rate. So you want to make sure that you are getting back your correct change. I also found that a lot of local areas did accept US dollars. However, it just made it easier for you to go ahead and use their local currency. Costa Rica is a country in Central America. Costa Rica stands for Rich Coast in Spanish, which is their native language. However, I did find that a lot of locals were bilingual due to the fact that the tourism industry is really big there. So on our trip to Costa Rica, we did travel in March, which is one of the hottest months in Costa Rica. So if you don't like to be really hot or you want to travel some of the cooler months, you definitely don't want to choose March or April to travel. We also flew into San Jose, which is the capital of Costa Rica, but we ended up actually staying in Montezuma, Costa Rica, which is a smaller town approximately 2 hours away. So the girls that I traveled with and we opted to stay in an Airbnb because we wanted to stay amongst the locals, and the properties are so beautiful in Costa Rica, and you guys will get to see some footage of that later on in the video. And if you guys are interested in some information on the Airbnb that we stayed in, just comment down below and I'll get you that information. But if you're interested in actually going to Montezuma, you will have to actually take a ferry, which is called the Punta Arenas ferry. It's about an hour and a half from the San Jose airport. You will need to rent a car and drive to the ferry. There is a way for you to drive around without taking the ferry if you don't feel comfortable doing that. However, it is a couple more hours drive if you do it that way. So you also want to make sure that you're paying attention to the ferry times because they only come certain times of the day. So if you miss that ferry, you could be waiting hours until the next ferry comes. The ferry is about $20 per car and $2 per person to ride on the ferry, and the ferry ride over to Montezuma is about an hour ride. However, the views are beautiful along the ride. On the ferry, they also have restrooms, they have indoor areas where you can sit that has AC, or you can sit outside and enjoy the views. They also have food and music, anything that you need to enjoy your ride over and make the trip comfortable. So of course, as you would know, if you're renting a car and you're going onto the ferry, that you're actually driving your car onto the ferry, which is what that $20 fee is for. You'd be driving your car and they are going to take you over to the other side of the country. So enjoy these views. So as you can see here, like I said, we stayed in a beautiful Airbnb in Montezuma. It was a 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom, amazing villa with amazing views, infinity pool. The staff was amazing. The owner was amazing. I would definitely recommend, if you can, to go ahead and rent an ATV so that you're able to get around a little bit easier. Montezuma is a really small town and it's made up of a lot of dirt roads and uneven roads, so we did have a hard time getting around or getting to the home initially, and the driveway itself was really steep, but the home was beautiful. As you guys can see here, the views were spectacular. We had no complaints whatsoever. We were accommodated very well by our host. And naturally, the Costa Rican culture and the people there are so nice. So any issues that we had, she was able to attend to us, and she was super nearby, so we didn't feel unsafe. She made sure that she kept us in touch with everything that was going on in the local area. So outside of Montezuma, there are a lot of beautiful little towns that surround that area as well. So we did take the time out to go and explore some other areas. So as you guys can see here, we were exploring a little town called Santa Teresa, which is so beautiful and so full of culture. Santa Teresa was definitely a small surf town. You'll see a lot of surfers that were living there. We met so many locals, well, now locals, of people that said that they visited, once or twice, and then they ended up just living there. You can find a lot of yoga studios. There was a lot of backpackers, a lot of people riding ATVs and motorcycles. It was just such a small, vibrant town. Everybody was nice. Everything was amazing. The food was amazing. The only thing is that, again, it's a small town. It's a little bit underdeveloped in terms of road pavement, so you just have to be mindful of that. Again, that's why a lot of people ride around in the ATVs, as you see, in the motorcycle. So I would definitely say, if you are going to be doing some exploring, to bring some closed-toe shoes, because wearing sandals and things like that is definitely not suggested. We definitely learned that the hard way. There's a lot of dust and dirt everywhere, but it was definitely worth it. And also, there are dogs everywhere. So if you're not comfortable with dogs, that might not be the town for you, or really a lot of the towns in Costa Rica might not be for you. Dogs just roam the streets everywhere. They're sometimes in the restaurants, outside around the restaurants. So it's kind of something you definitely have to get used to. So as you guys take in this beautiful view of us driving around Santa Teresa and up to Montezuma, I'm just going to give you some background information and some tips that might be able to help you on your trip to Costa Rica. So obviously, first and foremost, Montezuma is beautiful. Santa Teresa is beautiful. The people are amazing. The people are very proud of where they live. They're very eco-friendly. So you're definitely going to find that they definitely take pride in ensuring that people are recycling properly and making sure you're disposing of your trash properly. They also love to party. So if you guys are interested in the nightlife, I'll share some more information about that later, but there is so much nightlife to these small towns and always something to do. So you'll definitely find something to do if you're really interested in partying. And the food is also amazing. I'll share some of the dishes that we had a little bit later in the video as well. But the food is so good. And because tourism is so heavy here, you're going to find that there's a little bit of everything to eat. It's such a mixed culture here. The weather is amazing. Again, we were traveling in March, so the weather was around 90 degrees every day. It was pretty hot, so you definitely want to make sure you travel with a water bottle and some sunscreen to keep yourself hydrated and safe throughout the day if you're going to be going to the beaches or visiting some of the local areas. Also, like I said earlier, a lot of locals are bilingual, but if you find yourself in like smaller quaint shops or smaller restaurants, you might find that there are some people who don't really speak well English. So you might want to go ahead and brush up on some basic Spanish before your trip. It is very helpful. I'm going to leave a link down below to a blog that helped me be able to get more information up until my trip, and they also have like an intro guide to Spanish, so it'll give you basic information or basic words and phrases that will help you along your trip. Another thing about Costa Rica, it is not cheap. I definitely thought it would be super affordable going to Costa Rica, but I came to quickly notice that a lot of the prices in Costa Rica are similar to the US. The food, yes, is affordable, but when it comes to tourism, if you want to do attractions, tours, excursions, anything like that, it's about similar pricing to the United States. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. Next is renting a car. If you want more information on renting a car, definitely, like I said, comment down below and let me know and I can give you more information. But if you plan on renting a car, you definitely want to make sure you have between $700 to $1,000 prepared to put down for a deposit. That is what they require in Costa Rica. They also require liability insurance that is mandatory, which can be upwards of $20 a day. So the price that you might see online is definitely going to be higher when you actually go and pick up the car. And if you want to rent a car, you definitely want to make sure you rent a 4x4 because you will not make it up the steep hills without a 4x4. So definitely keep that in mind. We had to rent one in order for us to be able to make it up our driveway even. And in line with the pricing, gas is super expensive over in Montezuma as well. Gas was about $4 a gallon, $4 a gallon. So very, very expensive. So keep that in mind when you are budgeting for your trip. And then along with driving, again, the people in Costa Rica, they drive a little crazy. They will cut you off, they will tailgate you, and I don't think they're doing it intentionally. Maybe that's just the way that they drive, but just be mindful that it is a little difficult to drive in Costa Rica, especially since the roads are narrow, they're not paved well, and some roads are only enough for one car to fit on, and the streets are very dim lit, so you can't really see sometimes. And also, along with the dogs everywhere, there's lots of other animals that roam the streets. You're gonna see some cats, you're gonna see cows, you'll see all different types of animals. And then again, there's lots of people riding around on motorcycles and ATVs. So you just have to be very careful, drive at a slow pace, and just take your time when you're driving in Costa Rica. Also note that you need to have your passport on you at all times. If you are driving in Costa Rica, it is mandatory for you to legally drive in Costa Rica. You have to have your passport on you as a tourist. And another good tip is that tips are not included in Costa Rica. Well, excuse me, tips are already included in Costa Rica, so you don't have to tip additionally if you don't want to. You can. However, you'll notice that a lot of your receipts will say that the tip is already included, so that you don't have to add that. And lastly, it takes a long time to get anywhere, so definitely prep extra time and give yourself time to get places because it just takes a long time to get anywhere. So again, like I said, the nightlife here is wonderful. We found some places that we really loved really quickly, and we would enjoy it during the day, enjoy it during the night. As you guys can see here, Chicos was quickly one of our favorite places to visit while we were there. But you'll always find some place with friendly people and some place that during the daytime it's a nice beach bar, and then at the night time it's a wonderful club. So I'll also share with you some of the activities that we did while we were there. We went to a waterfall canopy tour called Sun Trails, and it's basically a bunch of cables and platforms suspended high in the trees, and you just go on the trail, and at the end there's a beautiful waterfall, and definitely worth the travel. Definitely, if you guys don't like walking for a long time, you don't want to do this one. It was a really long trail, but again, so worth it in the end. It was about $40 per person. You definitely want to make sure you bring water to stay hydrated. Definitely wear closed-toe shoes, and definitely bring insect repellent. And also, if you are afraid of heights, you might want to second guess this one, because a lot of the times you will be suspended very high up in the air. So it might not be for you if you don't like heights. Another thing that we really enjoyed doing was finding smaller restaurants or smaller little shops to support. Here's one that we did find, a cute little bakery down by our house. Here's her Instagram if you guys are interested in checking it out. But I definitely recommend you checking out the smaller restaurants. They call them sopas in Costa Rica. And here's some photos of some food that we ate while we were there. As you can see, like I said, it's so diverse. There's Mexican and Spanish food and Japanese and even pizza that we had here. So the food is amazing. You guys are definitely going to enjoy it when you go there. And yeah. So another excursion that we participated in was snorkeling. And in order for us to get to the snorkel area, we had to go through like a drive-through park. It was almost like a drive-through safari. You would drive through the park, and there would be all these different animals driving around your car. So you would definitely have to take precaution. There was like a paper that you had to sign before you could even drive through the park. So it was very interesting, but very beautiful. And you guys will see some footage coming up. But basically, we were taken out into the middle of the water, and we went some snorkeling with a lot of other groups there. It was really fun. And then after, we were taken to a secluded area of the beach. We had some refreshments, and we enjoyed the beautiful scenery, enjoyed the beach, and it was just a wonderful day out. It was so beautiful. The views are beautiful. You saw so much different wildlife. The tour and the tour guide was amazing. They did everything they could to accommodate us, and it was just so amazing, and I would love to go back. So at nighttime, there's also lots of activities going on around in the town. Sometimes you'll see dancers out at nighttime, singers. It was just so wonderful, as you guys can see here. Share with you one of our favorite places that we went, which was Banana Beach, a restaurant on the beach, and it was so amazing. So I really hope that this video helped you guys to decide if maybe you want to go to Costa Rica, or maybe you already have a trip planned to Costa Rica and got some more information than you had before. If you guys love this video, please give it a like. Think about subscribing if you'd like to stay tuned to more videos that I'd be posting, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.